Good evening. Good evening. Y'all doing out there, ladies and gentlemen? Fine, I hope. We're in for a special little treat tonight, or this evening, should I say. We in here on behalf of the Honorable Purple one. I need to give me some pictures printed out. I got a couple of cats I gotta go get, but yeah, man, we got the boy in the building, man. Mr. 1999 himself. It is. I can say some things about that 1999, boy. But no. 1999 gonna be the end. It wasn't what they made the people think it was. But I'm not here nowhere right now. I'll be on the 10th anniversary of Prince making a transition. Now, first and foremost, First and foremost, I could be wrong, but if I'm not mistaken, this is exactly the type of fucking day it was when he passed. I could be tripping. Well, I remember going to the store and I bumped through a particular type of grape juice, Carpadillo. I used to buy the time out for the first time. Mama told me, that he passed. And it was raining like a motherfucker. I might have looked that up. But I think it felt like this kind of day right here. Now I got caught in the rain Saturday. Yeah. You know what's around when that shit happen. No. Thanks. Your boy. Well, man. I'm got them spirits, motherfucker. I'm talking this shit. We'll play that for later. In the next video, if I do two down, I know it's gonna be more than that. But I'm gonna get my attention though, because I did say after I finished with I think I said Baby Girl Selena and Aaliyah. I thought I was gonna lay out the celebrity thing. Nah, I'll take that back. I think that we were trying to think, hey nigga, you forgot about me. So I'm gonna take that back and just say, I ain't gonna say I'm gonna lay off of it. I'm gonna just, you just never know. We ain't gonna, I'm always do little tributes and shit. But we were kind of overdue. We were kind of overdue. Excuse me for talking popcorn on my mouth and shit, but yeah, we'll get into the the comical aspect of it, maybe in the second half. I was still overlapping. I still look about 2 more for Baby Girl. I got to be 2 more, maybe 3. No more than 3, and then we'll close her out for now. I didn't get to properly do one for her birthday. She was haywire. So, or maybe I just, who knows? I might just wait till her birthday. I don't know. I really want to get on to some more scientific stuff. Basically what I'm saying. You know, I still got to finish down some of it. I got that on my plate. But anyway. Oh yeah, man. Every time I get caught in a storm, he's around. I don't even think what it is. We'll go to that later. I'm gonna know shit. Alright. I always losing shit. Lose one thing, looking for another thing. Oh. Alright. Yeah. There they go. Okay, another thing. Okay, there you go. Yeah, there we go. Prince Roger Nelson. My man. Now, but y'all think that I lost my job like maybe I think about a couple of weeks before he died. Yeah, I was at home that morning. I'm about to look that shit up. But like I said, that was that same year. I was telling you I was watching Living Single with TLC on it, and then Left Eye had came through. I could just feel like a presence. It felt like a falcon or something just flown, up over the room or something. Anyway. So yeah, but I think around the time China from WWE had died, he got a lot of androgyny going on in that little pocket right there, because she was in the androgynous type of figure. She was a woman, but she was all buff and stuff. And of course, my dying niece's partner, he was an androgynous figure as well. So yeah, man. Now I really was supposed to. Let's get to. I just want to speak on that first. Cause it just seemed like it was the same kind of day. Like I say, every time I get caught in a storm, I got the last 3 times. It was always around, the time before this one, it was like in the fall or some shit like that. But the first time and this time was around the same time, which is this month right here. I think the first time was on the day he, I ain't gonna get into it, y'all saved it for the story. I'm thinking about putting the shit in the book though. Yeah, man. Y'all niggas, y'all get me dirty with the cash. Anybody, I need that cash app. Ain't nobody wanna. I made me say, you know what? I put this play together with this book. I might just incentivize. Make sure y'all niggas go buy this motherfucker. I done gave y'all all this free game. And a nigga couldn't get a red Gungan. It's all good though. You ain't worried about it now. It's cool. It's all good. I'll put some of this shit gonna have to go in the book though. Or one of these books. I don't know if I don't know how I'm gonna align this shit. I'm thinking about just doing a book or I don't know. But anyway, I don't want to say too much. But yeah. But he came through the other day though. I'll save it for the story. I was gonna give y'all a little bit. I'll save it. Wait till I get to the story. But anyway, so yeah, man. So let's get it, man. Now, first thing I want to speak on is the Warrior Prince. Cause like I was telling y'all about Mike, cause we get, like I said, we get caught inside of the I just start looking this way or something. I don't know why the fuck every time I get in front of a camera, my goddamn eyes. I thought it was some shit with just now, but I look when I be looking at my back, my goddamn oh yeah, the other picture I showed y'all I took, that school picture. I was in the 4th grade. The 4th, Dana. We'll get more into that when I get back to leave. But anyway, but that picture in my eyes, I don't know something. I don't know what the fuck. I don't know. I'm trying to look into the. Cause I don't do that. There must be some left eye shit going on. And I got a connection with her that happened around that year too. So I say that this shit is involved. So anyway, but just like I was telling y'all about Mike, when Mike was battling through the music, Prince was too. We get so caught up in the groovy tunes of it all, and especially people like my age who was a little young when, I don't want to say he was in his heyday because Prince was, well, I would just say when he was most active. So you know, I got caught up in all the big hits and shit. You know what I'm saying? And the but them niggas was pretty much they did the same thing that conscious rappers was doing, like Pac and shit. They pretty much had the same sense of understanding we was under some type of oppression. But you would not think of that when you think of Prince. You know, if you ask somebody about Prince or even Mike, yeah, we gonna say it. I'm say that for the cotton. Go get a little humorous in this motherfucker. But when you think of them guys, you don't act the average person. But what was Mike about, or what was Prince about, or you know, something like that. The last thing you would hear them say is they were they had the last thing people would bring up is the war that they waged against oppression, and just injustice. Period. The oppression of black people. But really, with them, it was more so of a not just black people. It was more so of a shake my boy. Alright, I made my own man. It was more so of a not just black people. It was more so of a yeah, we put it right there. That's what we join up. I gotta get that right there anyway. It was more so of a it was more so of a you know, a worldly thing, or just a fight against injustice overall. Even I gotta see when he said that, but he the video where Prince was like he said man, I remember I remember being a kid and watching the planes leave the trails in the sky, talking about the chemtrails and shit. And he said I used to see that, and the next thing you know, he said you see all these trails that they leave, and the next thing you know, everybody in your neighborhood and shit acting all crazy and shit, going wild or whatever. when we go back to what I was telling you, what Bobby had said, Bobby was like, man, they got shit where he was saying they got like machines and shit or so where they can hit a switch and motherfucker uh, lose their mind and start tripping, and this way he was like trying to link that to the gang violence and all this shit, and black on black crime and how motherfuckers losing their mind going crazy in the hood and all that shit. But when he said that, I can't remember. I don't know if he said that before this movie came. Before it's a movie called The Crazies, and that's where they show you in that movie. Now I don't know. You know they change. It's like you got to be careful now because they change shit up. So that's why I know they've been doing that shit with these movies and shit like. So I don't want to say this shit and they take the part out. But even Bobby said, but in the movie, I think that was the thing. I think they showed the chemtrails in the movie. They showed the plane leaving the chemtrail in the movie. But I think what happened was, it's been a minute since I've seen it. I think a plane crashed into their water supply in their little town or whatever. And people start losing their mind and shit. So many words what they were trying to tell you was fluoride. First and foremost, it was a running joke when I was growing up. Motherfucker do something crazy, like, man, there must be something in the water. Now that was supposed to be a joke, but then as I got older and started learning about all the many tactics that they use against us, and it's not even just against black people, everybody. But we are the ones they focus on the most. But like I said, I know times change, so kids might not say that no more. When we coming up, that's when motherfucker be like, motherfucker do something stupid, be like, man, it must be something in the water. Well, a whole while it is something in the water. Some shit called fluoride. Now, fluoride has been reported to calcify the pineal gland, freeze your antenna up. In so many words. So that's one thing. And it's like I go back to what I was telling y'all about that challenge came through to me over the past Halloween with when I had put two and two together. I grew up with asthma and shit. So, and the funny thing about it is, when I started smoking weed, my asthma went away and shit. I started smoking weed early, like 11 and shit, 12. And I had problems with asthma all the way up until then. But then at the same time, shit, that's about the last time that's when I stopped going to the doctor. Yeah, that's pretty much when I stopped going to the doctor. After that, shit, it was just like, nigga get sick, nigga just toughed it out. What you supposed to do. And even then, the reason why nigga was getting sick and all congested and shit was due to the dairy products and shit. Not knowing that this shit, but not paying attention, because the doctor said this shit when like I said, when I went to the doctor as a kid, around 8, I think I was like in the 2nd grade. Yeah, I think that was my 2nd grade year when I went to the doctor. But yeah, I'm my 2nd grade year. So anyway, but asthma can may very well be linked to fluoride filled water, because one of the things that fluoride does is dehydrates you. So if it dehydrates you, that means it dehydrates the lungs. And one thing I know about dehydration, when I get dehydrated, I can feel it in my lungs. Like my breathing gets labored because the lungs dry out. So But who's to say what type of psychological effects? Like I said, you know it was something wrong with the water. My old man is a pretty old fashioned guy. He ain't, but even he in around 2001, 2002 stopped fucking with the faucet water and started getting this before the bottled water thing got heavy. We started going to the you start getting the water from the they got the pure water machines or whatever that be by the stores and shit or whatever. So now they got the one where you can get ice in water. But anyway, so I was like, that may very well be where a lot of the asthma and breathing problems come from. Well, at least when I was growing up, because we grew up drinking faucet water. So, for a long period of time and shit, just like everybody else, this bottled water shit is some new shit. When we was growing up, it was just straight up out the sink. You eat faucet water. Which tastes terrible, but you'll never know until you start drinking pure water. Just like a lot of shit I'm figuring out right now. Or like with I'm the Prince of cereal, right? Prince. That's a good segue into that. But get the Hero of a Thousand Faces. You read about a deity called the Prince of cereal in there. Or you can look at some of my old work when I did the first Birth of the Sun, Formation of the Earth video. I think I spoke about I dealt with that now. But one thing about going to jail, being in jail, cut me off from access from a lot of shit that I was eating before I went to jail. So one thing I noticed when I came home, now I'm a cereal fanatic. But one thing I noticed since I've been home, that shit don't hit the same no more. Pretty much when it comes to cereal, shit, I'm down to straight up. Now I'm straight up cornflakes, Cheerios, Honey Nut Cheerios at the best. But all that shit with the dyes in it, and when I first got out, I was still eating that shit. But I think by me being locked up, before being locked up, eating this shit so much and being so accustomed to eating it, I wasn't really realizing, conscious of the negative effects or whatever. Just like, and not saying that I'm necessarily conscious of, let me put it like this, that and snack cakes and shit, like Little Debbie cakes and shit like that. So when I got out, I still ate cereal, but it didn't hit the same no more for some reason. And I know, like, speaking of Little Debbie, I know, like, in 2019, they came out with a whole lot of snack cake type cereal, like the oatmeal pie cereal. All of the snack cakes you see with Little Debbie, they came out with a cereal version of them. And I was, I remember I ate one kind, I can't remember what kind it was. I just couldn't get it. It wasn't like it was nasty. I just couldn't get into the shit. But it's like that with a lot of cereal. So I'm the type of cat, when I see some new cereal, I'm like a kid, so I see them shit, as it pertains to cereal and shit. So I see some new cereal, I go and check them out and see what they're talking about. But it's like now, every time I try some shit I don't like, I had like 4 different boxes of cereal on the fucking refrigerator. And I never finished the motherfuckers. And ended up going to get some regular shit like corn flakes or some Frosted Flakes. Frosted Flakes is pretty much, and it's crazy because I remember, give me one second. Yeah, but yeah, I'm pretty much back to straight up. Uh, we're not back to, but I'm pretty much at the point where I want some straight up cornflakes or uh well, frosted flakes got that sugar and shit in them, so I'm trying to stay clear of that shit too. That's a perfect example of what I'm talking about too. Once I stop fucking with the bleach white sugar, and I can see how which is the overall thing. That's what I was saying with the cereal shit. We just wrap it out in one bowl. Even though I came home and I started back eating the cereal, it wasn't the same. And the cereal wasn't hitting the same. So I'm like, but that was my body really slowly but surely rejecting the shit. You know what I'm saying? Because since I've been home, I've been hearing that all the, the dyes and all the sugar and shit is bad. Woo, woo. Eating it, I'm still eating this shit. But then you start to, like I say, the teeth thing. Well, I've been, I switched from the white sugar to the brown sugar about 5 years ago. That's when I really said, all right, let me go ahead and buckle down on this shit. Now I went to the brown, and I'm just when a nigga don't have no bread, you know what I'm saying? You gotta deal with I dabble back into the white sugar and shit. But with this thing this thing with my teeth, I can't even stand that shit no more to the point to where I ate too much of that. Like I said, one scoop of peanut butter fucked me all the way up. I had to go take a few pills to get that shit off me. I was fucked up. But that's all. It says alchemy. I took that. I'm like, okay, that'll keep me away from that sugar like that. So now I pretty much get my shit from natural fruits and shit, bananas and shit like that. But who's to say what type of psychological effects all this shit has been having? All these dyes and chemicals. Because even though I'm a pretty mild-mannered cat, but since I done stopped eating this shit, I'm more swiftful. I can focus more. My speech, I'm a little swifter with the tongue. I can see the difference, but it's subtle though. I was trying to tell him my homeboy the other day, but he kept brushing me off and shit. I was trying to tell him, like, bro, even like with the dairy and all that shit gives you brain fog and whatever. Since I done pulled all the way up off of the shit, slowly but surely weaned off of it, shit is clearer now. And I've been, for the last past 10 years, I've been, 9. Last 9. So, it hasn't hindered my ability to comprehend all the shit I've been teaching y'all. But, which makes it even a little bit more dangerous. Because you still see me doing what I do. But when I finally just weaned up off all this shit, I can see that I'm even more, it's like I can just tell the difference. It's hard to explain. But if you try to explain it to a person who's still on this shit, like I was trying to tell my homeboy, he's like, nah, I just gotta brush with a different mouth. I use Dr. Tinctures. I'm like, no, bro. You're not getting what I'm saying. It don't matter what the fuck you gargle with. Eventually, you keep eating this shit, when you get old, your teeth gonna be fucked up and falling out your mouth, for one. 2, it ain't just the teeth. this shit is having an effect on our nervous system and shit. Like, I can see the difference now. Sometimes you have to get off shit. And that's what I was trying to say about the cereal and shit. I think when I came home, the reason, like I said, the last past 3 years, I get cereal and them motherfuckers just sit up there. But that's the part of the process of me, the spirit basically saying, weaning me off that shit. You ain't away from this shit. You ain't away from this shit. I get some shit, eat about 2 bowls and be like, nah. I'll give you another example. What this was like right before by 2015. I get a pack of Skittles. I start having to take that yellow dye shit. That shit is there. I don't fuck with that shit. That's even when I noticed I start eating Skittles, I get a headache and shit. I don't know what the fuck going on. And I look at that yellow one. I said, you know what? I start taking the yellow ones out, and I eat the rest, and I be straight. I said, oh, it's that yellow dye number 5 shit. That shit is. I remember a lot of homies saying that shit is linked to swine and shit or some kind of way. So I start putting 2 together because you would think even that shit like this small shit, you be like, oh, there's little, ain't gonna do nothing, whatever. And then by 2015, that shit started giving me a headache. I was like, oh, I'm eating Skittles. I'm like, how the fuck am I getting that? This reminded me of that pork thing. I clicked. I said, oh shit, I remember that number 5. That shit got some kind of pork shit in it. And I started taking the yellow line up, the yellow ones out. And I stopped having headaches when I eat the Skittles and shit. Now I don't fuck with them at all. My teeth, see that teeth, them teeth, why? Like I said, man, it fucked me up. I might even see a dentist or some shit. Or not really. All I do is stay away from, to get my shit clean or something, whatever. And maybe they can do something where I can have a piece of cake every now and then. But at the same time, I'll be straight right now because they ain't got no business eating that shit anyway. So that'll keep a nigga from even fucking with the shit. Cause even though that's my partner said, man, you just go to the dentist, get your teeth fixed and shit, bro. You be alright, my old man and shit. I'm like, but y'all not getting it. You're not understanding it. You don't have to lose your teeth when you get old and shit. It's like, you don't have to do that. The reason we losing the shit is because we eat some shit that has being raised under the system of the races younger than us, the oppressors. You would notice though, you think this shit is just normal. Okay, I'm supposed to get old and lose my teeth. And no, you think eating this shit is normal. This shit is eating away at your teeth. All you have to do is stop eating this shit. But it's worse than crack. This shit is like dope. I get it, because I'm right here with, I'm not how my horse craving shit too. Oh, look at that goddamn donut. Whoo, that donut right there looks so good. Shipley's be calling, and I can't fuck with it. It's like, I know how I fucked my shit up. Damn, this is a long story. I know what I did, but even outside of that, it's like, now I can't fuck with the shit at all. It's an instant attack on the teeth and shit. So, but to take it back to the water. When I can't remember. I need to go back and look at that because I seen the clip on Instagram. I need to go back and watch that clip. And cause I think it was a video that came out before that movie even came out. But he was referring to when he was a kid. I remember being a kid and seeing them leaving trails in the sky. And now he's a genius now, so I can understand how his mind functions. I remember seeing them trails. So he made a connection. Seeing them trail and then looking around his neighborhood and seeing motherfuckers going crazy, acting wild and motherfuckers. You might be like, oh yeah, it's far-fetched. It's like, nah, what you think they put this shit in the air for? Um, uh, so he's real aware that cause I don't even be honest. I see the shit now, but I don't even remember uh seeing him that much when I was a kid. Like I see the shit now. Now that, that shit would have been. I think I would remember that shit. Cause I got I'm a real aware type of person. And they may very well have knew some shit about him and was landing on heavy in the area or knew something about that area, Minnesota. Um, and was landing on thick up there. Now I don't remember seeing it a lot. I remember seeing streaks, but it was more so one of the reasons why I say I remember seeing them a lot, because I do remember seeing the regular airplanes leaving the street behind, but that shit had just disappeared, and it wouldn't be no goddamn cloud coverage the next day. It's like now you see this shit like, and the next thing you know, the fucking clouds is thick in the fucking sky and shit. So yeah, as well as the warrior aspect of him comes out when he had it was a bold guy. He was bold enough to say, "Hey man, see, this is what I like about you see Prince, right? You see him, he got the androgyny look, not yay androgynous. You look at him, you might think, oh, no, Prince is more gangster than these niggas running around with baseball caps on and shit. And all this, yeah, nigga, I'm this, that, and yeah, nigga, all this old bullshit. No. Them niggas be all tough guy out. Yeah, we the gangster shit, all this whole shit. But them niggas will not stand up and speak. And I'm not saying all, because you do got some hood niggas. I'm just saying you got some niggas who they the toughest niggas in the world when it come to warring with their own people. But them niggas dare not say nothing against oppression of any sort. They won't even. And that's why I be telling y'all about niggas, these rappers and shit. That's what I be saying, bro. It's like, bro, I come from an era where you damn near. That was my thing. I didn't. When I was locked up, before I was locked up, I always knew I would speak. I just didn't know what form it would take. So when I was locked up, when I started getting this knowledge, I was like, okay. Well, I've been before the knowledge. Before I got locked up, I always knew I would use my. That's why the YouTube shit and all this she said it. Give me 1 second. But yeah, so my thing was always to use music or rap as a form of income, whatever was my plan at least. But then at the same time, double down and use it as to get the exposure, so I can speak about conscious awareness or awareness of black awareness, or just have a voice against oppression and teach people stuff. Because I've always been a philosophical type of guy, just to put it in just lack of a better phrase. This is not new. It's more advanced. The spirituality aspect of knowing where we come from and what I was saying before. What I was saying was, but when she came through, right after she passed, she came through, and I think I was standing in the doorway, which is a thing too. And she was like, nigga, she said the internet was made for us. And she was like, no, she said, we built the internet. We built the internet, but she was finna tell me the reason, but before she could tell me the reason, she kind of faded out. She's like, we built the internet to woo. But I already know what she was. She didn't even have to finish because I knew where she was going. So there's some Matrix type shit going on right here. Y'all think a nigga just bullshitting, but she said this shit clearly. So although the rap aspect of this shit, not saying I don't still do music and shit, because I always do that just out of just from the heart or whatnot, and find a way to make some bread off of it or something. Whenever I start to focus more on that thing, because the traditional way, as we can see, is this shit is not what it used to be. Not saying it's where's the will of the way. We just put it like that. But I'm not. I'm about to though. Once I get locked and loaded, I'm gonna start put more of an effort back into the music and get back into that before I'm making music or whatever. But I really got to go back down the chain with listening to some shit too, cause even that I have to get back into listening to music where I used to, because. But anyway, I don't want to go too off, of course. But what I was trying to say was, but that, and let me not be too staunch in that and say, because there's a lot of guys I like who rap. Man, I hate when I do that dumb shit. Man, I don't know. This is bothering me. I gotta turn my shirt back on. Yeah, man. I guess I get my goddamn shots of D'Angelo, man. I ain't naked below, but I do my sexy man dance for Prince, but not for him, but in the spirit of Prince. This is some shit he would do. I'm gonna put my shirt back on though. I don't wanna, or should I? But yeah, that should always happen, man. We come a fucking muscle shirt on inside out and shit. But yeah, so that's I don't want to be too, because I guess everybody doesn't necessarily have to speak on, it's a choice and shit. So I don't want to. I just don't like. I just think that. It comes a time where a nigga who ain't never, I don't know, man. Cause on one hand, I'm like, I do think about the guys that I do listen to. So many words, man. If you ain't got the nuts if you got a voice and you ain't got the nuts to say something, niggas who don't say nothing, but you talk this tough guy shit. You talk this tough guy shit, but you ain't never said. Some niggas ain't never said nothing that out of the way of or something that pertains to fuck the oppressor. You dig what I'm saying? So Prince has though. And he doesn't walk around or didn't walk around acting like the toughest nigga in America. But he had enough nuts to speak out on the injustices that we suffer on the daily or whatnot. I find it interesting, man. That's when he put the slave tat on his face. that was a bold move. Now, rappers been rappers were saying that around the time I'll say, you did start see you did hear, and it was around the time he did that. You did start you. I'm not sure. I go as far as to say like the '80s. Not saying it was no. I think people started for us to. I think by the '90s is when, for hip hop artists started to really get a. Cause like I said, what it started like '79 or whatever, '78. Well, 70. I'm not sure when. You can't actually put a date on it like that. I know. We just go with the common thing, the '70s or whatever. So we just say '79 if I'm not mistaken. Give or take or whatever. So by all the '80s, you have pretty much a 10-year run, or niggas had a 10-year run to find out just how the music industry worked. And not saying that there wasn't any not saying that there wasn't any not saying that there wasn't any soul artists, jazz, you know, 'cause you had a lot of people who came before rap who spoke, like Eartha Kitt, you know, she a lot of artists, you know what I'm saying? It was almost a given. We almost pretty much lost. So I'm speaking for hip hop. When I say by the '90s, that's when hip hop started to have its more. So it's started to be more voiceful towards how unfair the industry treated niggas. But soul artists and all right. So maybe what I was trying to say was, and I'm not sure about this, but like I said, I was younger in the '80s. So it'd have to be somebody before me to really be a little more clear about it. But I don't think there were a lot of artists in the '80s, as far as hip hop is concerned, complaining about bad contracts. I think at that time it was probably more so about trying to get a deal. And then when I started coming up, you would hear a lot of artists say, "Yeah, man, this shit's like pimps and hoes, and this slavery. These are slave contracts, and blah 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 blah." Which I was saying that in regards to the tattoo that Prince had on his face, the slave tattoo. Now, this speaks to this speaks to this speaks to the thing I was speaking about. By us coming from a, generally speaking, from us coming from a, I'm talking about black people, from a rather impoverished situation or poverty-stricken situation, when these people come and wave these contracts in their face, an artist's face, and promise them a better life and the fortune and the fame and this, that, and the third, a lot of them go for it without going into the details of the without going into the details of the contract. And I'm willing to bet 98% of the time they present the contract in a manner where they make the artist feel as if it's now or never or something like that. Or some of that nature. Or maybe not. I've never been presented with a contract, but I wouldn't and it goes back to, I was watching shout out to Freddie Jackson, man. I was watching Freddie Jackson Unsung. It was crazy because at first I sat down. It's been a while since I watched TV, so I sat down. But I was tired. I was already sleeping in the motherfucker. But some told me, go sit down and watch a little TV. So I turned to Unsung, and first it was, I caught it like in the middle of Howard Hewitt. And then the next one was Freddie Jackson. Now by this time I am trying to keep my damn eyes open. But then when I seen when Howard Hewitt went off, I was finna go to see. I said, let me see who next. And it was a marathon. Then it was Freddie Jackson. So now I gotta watch Freddie. I was like, have I seen this? I said, no, I don't think I've seen Freddie Jackson before, or his Unsung before. So I said I watched it. I enjoyed that one. Bad Boy. I even got to get a, based off of what I saw in that video. I think when he came in, when he signed to Hush Records, or when he rose to prominence, it was the same time where the transition from live instruments into the more to the keyboard era or whatever was coming in or whatever, because the guy spoke to that in the interview. I mean the Unsung. And then it was crazy because when he did the Unsung was 2009. 2009. Was it 2009? I can't remember, but it was something with the 20. It was 20. I think he got his contract. Or he first came to the game like 27 years. It had been when he did I think the Unsung came out 2009 or 2010, which is around the time I first got out. And then but I think that was when he did the Unsung, it had been 27 years since he had been in the music industry or whatever. Then we go with that 27 again, the B, the G, the 2 plus 7, the 9, the I, the 2 being the B, 7 being the G, the 9 being the I, which goes back to Big because Big played on the King of New York character, the Frank White character. Freddie Jackson is in Frank White, is in King of New York. The club scene, he's in that scene, which makes sense when you look at the Unsung, because they were saying how he was speaking on how much he loved, he's from Harlem, so he was speaking on how much he loved Harlem, and how you always go back and he just walks through the streets like a regular guy. When I saw that part, I can respect that, man. And Freddie Jackson was just a bad, but don't you wanna dance tonight? That old school shit, I'm telling you, man. You sit in the crib when you lay down and cut the fucking lights off, when you put some of that shit on from back in the game, man, that shit be like another, you going to it. And it ain't just because, it ain't even relatively speaking, like, oh, well, I'm comparing it to now. No, I'm saying that's how it was even then, back when I was a kid and shit. You cut them fucking lights out, man, and lay down. That shit take you to a whole, the tracks and all that shit just takes you to a whole nother, like a whole other dimension or something, man. But it was a guy on the, I can't remember who he was, but he was speaking on, it was towards the end when, Freddie Jackson, when he finally started to wake up and realize they was robbing him, contractually speaking. That's when he they start to realize, because that's how they get you. You get in, and I think that's what it was. He found out. They give you all this shit. Don't tell you have to pay it back. So they give you all these. That's why I didn't fuck with consignment. That's why I was like, when I look at how the game is set up, I didn't fuck with consignment in the streets. So I definitely would have, I don't ball against the store. Fuck that shit. I ain't fuck consignment in the street. You know what I'm saying? So I would have been better off as an independent artist. Because all that, if I know what's going on, see, they don't tell you this shit. They give you that card or whatever the fuck they give you when you get to ordering shit, or they get to sending you shit and giving you shit and whoop, and they're not telling you that. Not only do you have to give them their cut from the music, from whatever you make off the albums and shit. Now you gotta give them everything, pay them endorsement money, or they want the 360 shit or whatever. But they're not telling these people that the fucking all these trinkets they giving them and everything down to that little coat you behind the vending machine at the hotel you was standing at waiting for your fucking show waiting to perform at your show. You have to pay this shit back. That's how a lot of motherfuckers in the red, because they don't explain this shit. They just give you shit. You thinking these people just. That's what I'm saying. That's why. I'll go back to what I was saying. When you take people who are trying to get out of the ghetto or trying to escape or even just trying to live the life of the rich and famous, even if they ain't that fucked up. But when you take people that are actually trying to use this as a meal ticket to get out of their condition, this is one of the reasons why it makes these people so trustworthy, because they hold that bag up, you light up, oh, it's finally arrived, and then you identify, and not only that, of course they're gonna probably talk sweet to you while they doing this shit. So you thinking these people are just, you identify them. See, it's a psychological thing. You identify them. You want to get out of these poverty-stricken conditions. They holding up a quote-unquote means. A means to that. A means to that end, right? But not only are they fucking over you, they're gaining your trust on a psychological level, because you automatically thinking that they're okay, because this is the guy. You are associating that face or those people with you walking into what you think is a better position in life or whatever. Which maybe it is if you play your cards right. The average person see that carrot that they dangling and say, fuck it. Man, it's time. Freddie Jackson, perfect example. He said that, and that's why one of the reasons I liked the interview, or the song, because they never realized it until it's really too late. And he was like, man, I went from eating at the finest restaurants and doing this and doing that and this, that, and the third. And a lot of, I don't know what the case was in, but I know a lot of times they provide you with it. Like I said, they give you all this shit. And then when it's time to divvy that dough up, you be like, where's my money going? Like, well, you remember you have to, remember that T-bone steak you was eating in? You remember that champagne you was ordering on that corn? And yeah, you had to pay them that shit back. And you got to pay them what you want from the deal. That's why, but niggas don't be knowing. They don't tell you this shit. It's probably in your contract, but niggas don't read. Obviously, niggas don't read the contract because we wouldn't have so many cases of motherfuckers saying, hey, I got fucked. And it's like, how really? Because, that's why I tell people you can raise hell about a fucked up contract. I mean, getting a bad deal. But ultimately, it's like the guy said in Freddie Jackson's son. He said at the end of the day, you can hoop and holler, and I'm paraphrasing. He said you can hoop and holler and woo woo. He said, but at the end of the day, it's your fault because you signed the contract. Well, you didn't. If you would have read the contract or been patient enough to read the contract and see what was going on, you would know all these things. But when we lack of, when you when you're trying to elevate to a higher status in life, especially if you're desperate, and especially if they're presenting it to you in a manner where they make it feel like you have to do it in a haste. Do it, you better catch this now. This opportunity only comes around once. And I can only, I've never sat down with none of these executive types and shit like that, but I can only imagine how they would talk to people or put them under the impression that or speak to them in a manner that would put them under the impression that they have to, or it'll be in their best interest to just come on, man, we got you, son. But Freddie said he just was signing away. He said he just signing his life away, just sign. Then at the end of the day, that's when they come back and beat him in the ass. Pause. But shout out to Freddie, man. Legendary, man. Legendary guy, man. You are my lady. That shit there, man, is classic shit. And it's funny because they show a picture of him holding a bottle of Wild Irish Rose. Now that was funny because I ain't gonna lie, now that's cheap bottom shelf liquor type, bottom shelf wine type shit. But I like Wild Irish Rose. We used to dabble in that growing up. I like Wild. I probably wouldn't go looking for it, but you crack a bottle open next to me. I ain't put me a cup of that shit there. I probably couldn't fuck with the Thunderbird and shit no more. Thunderbird and Kool-Aid, but that Wild Irish Rose. I remember I was in the county with a nigga that nigga was like, he was talking about this. I think he was talking about this dope fiend from his hood or some shit. And he said a dope fiend used to say Wild Irish Road, but he didn't say, he used to be like, instead of saying Wild Irish Road, he'd be like, I will. That's some shit like that. I said Wild Irish Rose. That's what made me think about it. That nigga used to always say shit, I will. He was saying he got it from the dope fiend in the hood, because the dope fiend used to, that's what give me some I. He be trying to say Wild Irish Rose, but he would say I and shit. But yeah, man. But like I said, he had the Wild Irish Rose bottle. Then the 27 came up. It was 27 years since he had been in the game. Two sip Irish and Oris, the Irish and Oris twins, Irish and Oris. Wild Irish Rose, 72. See how these things, and this is totally unrelated. It's just him doing it uncensored, this unsung thing. But look at how all this shit how we all be connected and shit. Don't even know it. I'm just watching this. But that's why I like watching Unsung, because you never know what It's a good show. It's a good shit. And it's good learning. You can learn a lot from that shit. For the music industry. And but yeah, then Boy Moorhead came on after that. I was tired of motherfuckers. Let me see what's next. I didn't even get to make Luther. They had a special segment on Luther after the last, after the last, Unsung. But I knew that one came on at 7, so Freddy's went out at 5, so it was 6. So he was going out. They were finna show the next one. And I'm tired of the motherfucker. I'm like, and then they popped up Rick James. I said, oh, I gotta watch this one. I've seen it before, but I'm tired of. I'm in between. I'm like, man, I want to go to sleep. I'm like, well, let me see. Maybe it's one I've seen, or maybe I won't. When I seen Rick James, I said, yeah, man, we're gonna saddle up for another hour. And then I watched Rick shit. Then I watched a little bit of Luther, and then I went to sleep after that. I think I ended up. I laid it down. Did I lay it down? I think I fucked around and left. Then I came back and went to sleep. But yeah. I gotta catch that though, that Luther. But let me stop this one.